How's it going, guys? Welcome back to the Black Metal Rebellion. I'm your host, Jesse Morgan, aka Slammarella, and on today's Nerd Corner, we are going to be doing a review of the new DC Films universe, the DCFU. Thanks, Schnepp, for contributing that to the nerd world. Always will refer to it as that. And yeah, so we're going to be talking about the Birds of Prey movie, aka Harley Quinn and the Birds of Prey. So I saw it last night with the wife and kids. Let's just say when I first saw the trailers for this thing when it came out, I was kind of meh about it. I didn't think it was anything to really rave about. And then like a new trailer started coming out, and I'm like, okay, this is starting to seem all right, and some of the action scenes in the trailer seem to be pretty good. And then finally got to see it last night, and I was pleasantly surprised. I gotta say, I thought it was going to be good, but I wasn't expecting it to be this good. And I will save the spoilers for the end of the video. So without spoiling anything, let's just talk about the movie. The action, there is lots of action in this. The fight scenes were pretty cool. The choreography was pretty neat. Some people get fucked up in ways that you're just either not expecting or maybe haven't seen before. Not all of them, of course, but there's quite a few scenes where you're just like, oh, Jesus Christ. And there was one scene in particular that was brutal, but also made me laugh at the same time. And I'll talk about that in the spoilery part. So yeah, expect to have lots of action, high energy scenes, and the like. There is a lot of comedic moments too. Like there's a lot of comedy in there. The jokes were pretty on point. There might be like a joke here or there that was just kind of okay, but I didn't find any of the jokes that was on purpose to be like fall flat or stale or anything like that. Every time the movie tried to be funny, it definitely was, and I thoroughly enjoyed the humor in it. Margot Robbie as Harley Quinn is really, really good in this one. You see a lot more of her character come out than just like the teeny bits you got in Suicide Squad. I liked Suicide Squad. A lot of the parts that people nitpicked about it, I didn't really see the big deal. So I like the Suicide Squad, but I also say this is probably a step up from it for sure. Like if I have to give Suicide Squad like a 6 out of 10, I would definitely give Birds of Prey a 7.5 out of 10 or an 8. It's actually way better than I think you people will expect going into this. If you don't have high hopes for it, I definitely recommend seeing it before making your mind up, as goes for any movie. If you just are dead set about not seeing it, fine, but if you're kind of on the fence or you're not sure, definitely go see this one and make up your mind, because it's worth it in my opinion. The bad guys, that being Victor Zsasz and Black Mask, is pretty bad guy-ish. Like these guys do some pretty horrible stuff in it and definitely earn the audience's disdain for them. They earn the stamp of being like bad guys. They do some things in this movie that are definitely irredeemable and pretty sociopathic. There's some scenes that involve a family. What Victor Zsasz does to them is pretty messed up. There's a scene or two with Black Mask doing a couple things to people that are really just incredibly surprising. And yeah, so the bad guys in this are definitely worthy of the bad guy title. The side characters, Huntress and Black Canary, they have an interesting part in this. I know some people are saying, oh, they don't really have much to do with anything until the third act. They're in it. They're sprinkled in it here and there. Huntress a little less. She kind of pops up, not a lot, but she pops up here and there to do her thing and then pop out again, and then she really does get featured a lot in the third act, but it's not like she's completely absent from the first two acts. And same with Black Canary. She's in it more prevalently than Huntress, but she's also not vacant from the first and second act as much as people say she is either. So I don't know why people are saying that the birds of prey really aren't in this until the second act, or I mean the third act, because they are. So give yourself a fucking bonk on the head for that. And they were good. They may not have worn the comic accurate costumes perfectly, but they had their own unique style. I appreciated what the costume and design team did with what they were wearing. And Huntress, if you've seen the trailers, you know she sort of wears the outfit, not like that skin tight weird like ninja thing, but it's pretty close, I guess. It's a very 80s looking version of it. And that's another thing with this movie. It doesn't feel quite like it's taking place in modern times. It feels like 80s or early 90s. So it's got a vibe to it. So take that for what it is. The Cassandra Cain character, unfortunately, is nothing like the comics character. She's not a badass. She's not a ninja. She doesn't have martial arts skills. She doesn't assassinate anyone. She's just a kid that's in a really bad foster parent situation, and to get out of the house and fend for herself, she has to resort to pickpocketing and stealing stuff and whatever. Her character is more of the MacGuffin of the movie, and a lot of the reason why half the characters are doing what they're doing, it serves the purpose. Her character serves the story and the plot well. And that's another thing. A lot of people in the critics or some of the people that are naysaying this movie, for whatever reasons, think there's no plot or there's a lack of plot. I don't know where you're getting that. It's pretty obvious if you pay attention to the damn thing, as well as the story structure. They have a issue with how Harley Quinn kind of tells something and then rewinds to explain why a certain character is where they are and how they showed up. It's not confusing if you're paying attention and you follow along. I do the same kind of thing in my Emerald Spade book. I'll get to a certain point and then a new character will be introduced and there's no backstory, there's no rhyme or reason why they're there, but I also have like a part 2 of my story that explains why they're there, and it's not like perfectly linear. It doesn't go from part A to part B to part C and end of story. I don't know what to tell you. If you've been watching movies for any length of time in your life, you should be used to non-linear storytelling. Like, it's not that difficult to figure out, and it just at that point feels like people are once again nitpicking. I don't know because it's DC or if it's because they just don't like comic book movies in general, but it feels like these people are nitpicking. I'm not exactly sure if there's anything else I can really talk about without getting into spoilers. So if you're at this point and you don't want to hear spoilers, you could probably shut it off now. So my rating for this is probably, like I said, a 7.5 or an 8 out of 10. Great action, good humor. Plot point is interesting. What they do with the characters' outfits and the process of going from her story at the beginning to the process to the story at the end is very cool and very not unique, but it's not done a lot, so I appreciate it. It's good. You should go see it. Give it a shot. It's got quite a different energy to it. It's got quite a different tone to it, and there's, like I said, action, humor. Yeah, just pay attention to the movie and you shouldn't have a problem when she does her rewind to fill you in on a person's backstory parts. So yeah. Anywho, let's move quickly to the spoilers now. The main MacGuffin of this story is Cassandra Cain. She steals a diamond from Victor Zsasz, and basically from there shit hits the fan. Harley Quinn ends up having to go find her and bring the diamond back in order to save herself from the wrath of Black Mask. The Black Canary chick is also kind of in the same boat. She's trying to stop Black Mask from killing Harley Quinn, get the diamond back, save the kid, and on top of that you got this cop Renee Montoya who's also trying to arrest Harley Quinn, stop Black Mask, find the diamond, save the kid. It's pretty funny because they're all going after the same MacGuffin. It culminates to a pretty epic kind of third act, and it's really enjoyable. the funny scene that I was talking about earlier is this guy's fighting Harley Quinn, and she takes a bat to his legs and his arms and everything, and just like, it's so brutal and unexpected that I had to laugh. It was fucking hilarious in the theaters. Just some of the things that happens in this, I don't know if it's intentionally funny, but I found it amusing. There's a lot of slapstick humor. There's a line in this where Harley Quinn's like, "Hey, you're that canary chick that can sing really well," and Black Canary's like, "Hey, you're that asshole that no one likes," and it's freaking priceless. I found that really amusing. There's another thing too. A lot of these critics and stuff want to say that it's a feminist woke tragedy or nightmare of a film, and it's not. They didn't try to hammer it over your head. They didn't try to hammer it over your head that women are good, men are bad. If that's what you're taking away from this film, you've got some problems, let me tell you, because that is not what they're saying at all. The main characters in it, for the most part, are, a lot of women. There's Harley Quinn, Black Canary, Renee Montoya, Huntress. There's the four main lead women there, and then the MacGuffin being Cassandra Cain and the Diamond. And then you do have a lot of male characters, being Victor Zsasz, Black Mask. There's a lot of male cops in this. There's a lot of male henchmen in this. There's a lot of male side characters and main characters in this as well. There's no, women are good, men are bad, all men are scum kind of thing. It's not like that. It's not like this huge cheesy girl power thing either. It's just a couple of the main actors happen to be women. So it's not feminist propaganda. It's not woke trash. It's nothing like that. And trust me, if it was stupid feminist propaganda or woke trash, I would let you know, because I can't stand that stuff. The film is great. It has a lot of action, a lot of humor. There's a couple of scenes in here, once again, like I said, that have the bad guys doing really bad things. And spoilers, the Victor Zsasz character ends up cutting the faces off of 3 family members. Black Mask ends up kind of humiliating this woman in his club because he thinks she's laughing at him, and he's already received bad news, and then on top of receiving bad news, he thinks this woman's laughing at him in his own club, so he tries to make an example of her and make her feel as embarrassed as he seems to feel. And he gets her friend to cut her dress off and dance on a table. There's no nudity. You barely even see her bra or panties or anything like that. But the tone of the scene and the music that's going on with it is a very dark, it makes it feel extreme. I'm sure if it was real life, the woman going through that it would have been slightly traumatic. But there's people trying to paint this as a scene that didn't need to be in the film, and kind of an irredeemable point against the film as well. I get it. It probably didn't need to be in the film, but there's a lot of things that happen in films that don't need to be in it. It's in there to prove a point. It's in there to paint a picture of the characters being portrayed. It's trying to show you how insecure Black Mask is. It's trying to show you how petty Black Mask is. It's trying to show you how extreme he is, and that he just doesn't give a fuck, and he wants things to go his way, or there's going to be hell to pay. And that's how they do it. They show him humiliating this woman and, scaring her by doing that in the film. And it does make you feel like, wow, this guy's a fucking asshole. Like, it definitely makes it seem like he's irredeemable as a bad guy, and makes it even more satisfying to see what happens to him at the end. And I'm not going to spoil that part. I wish they didn't do what they did to Black Mask at the end, because it'd be nice to see more of that character in the future, especially wearing more of the mask. Also, I'm pretty sure this movie was written by Margot Robbie, so it's not like a man decided to put this in the film. Margot Robbie herself thought that scene was okay in the film, so she thought it was okay and thought it was good to show in her movie, then you can't really hate on it that much as a woman. So anyways, it was really good. This review has gone on really long, but there's a lot to talk about with this movie because there's a lot of misconceptions when it comes to this film, and there's a lot of people just skipping out on seeing it for whatever reason. It should be making a hell of a lot more at the box office, considering I think it's still at maybe an 83% fresh on Rotten Tomatoes. Not that the fucking Rotten Tomatoes meter should have any saying on what you go and see at the theaters, but it's kind of weird considering how high of a rating it's got with how low money it's making at the box office. I hope it at least breaks even when it's done its end run. This is still its first week. It's, I think, made 180,000 or million worldwide. But once again, this is only its first week. I'm assuming what's going to happen is a lot of people are going to take their significant others to see it on Valentine's Day. So this weekend you'll probably see the numbers kind of either jump or stay the same instead of dropping. We'll see. Well, let's see how my predictions are for that. And anyone with kids probably aren't going to take them to see this. Most parents are a little bit more reserved and a little bit more cautious than I am. I'm going to assume there's going to be a lot of people seeing this on February 14th, and the reason why it's not huge right now is because it is rated 14A and rated R, I guess, in the States, and the people with kids are going to be taking their kids probably to see Sonic, which I'm hearing really good things about Sonic, so go see that as well. Go in masses to fucking see that movie after you see this one, of course, because it deserves the views and support. So yeah, I'm going to assume that that's why it's not making quite as much, because the kids and the kids' parents are saving their money to go take them to go see Sonic on the 14th or whenever this thing opens. I think I've covered enough with this Harley Quinn movie. It's good. It has good action, good humor, some plot twists that you probably aren't expecting, some just moments of you're not sure whether you should laugh or be shocked. There's some cool little Easter eggs in there if you're watching, like the name of Harley Quinn's hyena, the picture that's hanging up in the cop station when she breaks in. There's so much that could be talked about this movie, but once again, 7.5 or 8 out of 10, really good, worth the money. Go check it out. And that's it, guys. For Glory, for the Rebel Alliance, Slammarilla out.